all the towns we stopped till we got
From Gleivis, then we went.
oh no, little towns we stopped.
Yeah.
On the train, I don't remember the names.
No.
But he must have been out there. I have it in the computer.
Yeah, it could be you have it in the
Everything is
computer,
recorded.
but who the hell remembers? I don't know. We never paid attention to it, Siggy.
Do you know what? The
tape.
IG Farm.
Yeah, I don't know. All of them got, when there was a trial, on all from the director, from everybody, from the foreman, they got jail sentence. I didn't even know.
Both
You know-
of them, put that on you.
You know, Janina was a part of Pune.
You're movie stars.
We are,
You're two brothers.
wait, first, you want to, yeah, put the numbers. You know, the
numbers?
doctor.
Okay, put the numbers together. Go ahead. I'll zoom in. Those are lucky numbers, actually.
You see this? He's got
You see?
305 and I have 306.
Right. Right. So 305. How many? What is that? 305. Oh, one number. No, one after the other.
Yeah.
I'm slow.
That's how the numbers.
So my father told us that when you guys were younger, you had one light bulb in the house, right?
Yes.
You had one light bulb in the house.
And the light bulb went on at dusk and 12 o'clock is out.
You know.
You know?
And did you have a radio?
No.
No
What's
radio.
the matter with you?
I don't know.
We had a radio. The guy across the street was a bakery and they had a radio over there. And they have it in the window playing. But there was no power. They had to go battery charging the batteries at some place or what.
Okay.
They put it out and everybody, especially during the wartime. No, I mean before the war.
So when
Let's
was
see,
this?
Let's see, in maybe 1937, 38, you know, they
Okay.
put out in the radio and people were standing mobs and waitlist and, you know,
Right.
to the radio. That's what we had.
So and when was the first time you saw a car?
A car?
Yeah.
Oh, there were cars by us.
So you were already cars.
Sure.
Okay.
Taxis and everything, those things were. It was bus transportation from town to town,
Okay.
yes.
Now, my daddy, he was a tailor, listen, and he was a custom-made tailor.
Right.
So we had ranches, you know, farms,
Mm-hmm.
and there was one guy, he came with a chauffeur, and he was a ranch owner, and he had, I remember, had a car. So when Daddy made him a suit, they had to go and measure it and come back after a few days.
Make a fitting, yeah.
Yeah, fitting. So once I wanted to take a ride. So he took me for a ride, maybe 3-4 miles out, and then I walked home.
And what year was this?
Oh, maybe 37, 36, I was a kid.
There was one guy used to come with a motorcycle, and he was a butcher in Zbiersk.
Yeah.
Yeah, with a motorcycle, a big motorcycle, yeah.
See, Daddy was a tailor, and he all the surrounding was farms
Okay.
and forest.
You see, we were born in a small town. The population was entirely, I would say, by 18,000.
And the town was that Kalish?
What?
What was the town's name?
Suburb,
Slavish.
It's a
And
suburb of Kalisz.
And the Jewish population was about 500 families. And the Jewish population lived mostly in the main area in the towns, like in town place outside the marketplace, you know, all around there the Jewish population mostly lived, you know, together. But we have a nice shul with all kind of things over there.
I remember from the house to the shul was maybe 2 blocks, and there was no sidewalk. On the March, when the snow melted, it was mud. This I remember.
Yeah, but Ziggy, in the late 30s they started making sidewalks already,
Yeah.
remember? By us in the front, by in our house too.
Yeah, in our house. Yeah.
Were you a religious family? Did you go to school on
Yeah.
Shabbos? Did you have Friday
Oh,
night?
definitely, surely, yeah, of course. Everybody was. See, my father was a custom tailor. He had a big Jewish clientele. Even we didn't want it, he had to be, you know, because those religious Jews, they weren't like you would say here, is it a frock? you know, like a formal.
Mm-hmm.
This was the sub
Tuxedo.
tuxedo, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, well, so my father was specializing in that. So,
Leslie, the whole town was Orthodox.
Okay.
This was the way.
Right.
And on between us, there was a part, a very small minority who were Hasidic.
Okay.
On the ones that Hasidic, there was the elite, the business people. And they wore clothes, very fancy clothes.
yeah, but you see, they were not, you would say this, they were like modern religious, you know, modern.
Okay.
Not fanatic. You know, the older generation, maybe they had some older people a little bit fanatic, but most of the younger generation was already modern.
Okay.
But
It was not an easy life over there. You know, most of the people that went to the market, you know, a little stand they had selling some stuff in the market, that they make a living. But and then you find the professionals, and my father was a professional. My grandfather, my mother's parents' father, he was a tinsmith in a roofer. Then the grandfather passed away, and the uncle, I don't know if you know him, he was in Israel.
Yeah, I met him. I
Yes,
think.
you were
Yeah,
there.
yeah, I was
yes.
there.
He took it over, yeah.
Okay.
He took it over. So this is the way in the Jewish things over there.
And what do you remember about the house that you lived
But
in?
our house,
About the house.
this house belonged to our grandparents, but we lived in that house. It means that apartment, we lived in that apartment, was like a share. There were 5 children from my mother's side, you know. So this was like a share of our house. We paid taxes from it and so forth. So we lived in there.
And how many rooms did you have?
How many rooms?
Rooms.
We had 2 big rooms.
2 big rooms.
There was a factory in one end room, and the other end was the kitchen, yeah, Ziggy?
yeah,
So 2
My
rooms.
father employed about 4 people that worked over there by us.
And where did you all sleep?
What?
Where'd you sleep? From
I
2
slept
rooms.
with him, we slept all our life together.
So, and the rest of the family, all of you slept in one room? And the,
No. My parents had a roof. We have 2 sisters.
Right.
The sisters used to go to play to the grandmother in the same house. Because the grandpa passed away in the early 60s or something.
grandfather passed away.
What?
The grandfather.
Grandfather, yes. He passed away. So the grandma was by herself, so the 2 sisters slept over there
Okay.
most of the time. And nice bed was Iggy. Now this bed was not wider like this. It's not much room.
Did he snore?
Huh?
Did he snore?
No, well, you were youngsters. What are you talking
I
about?
remember when I made homework, so I had a board. And I put it across the bed, and then I made homework.
It's not that, you know, it was a little bed, and the bed has a little, you know, how do you call it? We shouldn't fall out from
Right,
it, you know.
right, okay.
So we put a board over it, and about candle light. See, we didn't have much time over there, because in the morning he went to school, he came home from school at 1 o'clock. 1 o'clock, you ate something, he had to go to Cheder. So he came home from Cheder, it's what was? It was 5, 6 o'clock. We haven't got much time for ourselves.
So, Dad, when did you stop going to school? How many years of school?
No, we started 7 years old.
So you,
And 14 years was compulsory.
okay, so you started 7
7 to the age of 14.
till 14.
Means
Okay.
7 years.
So, Dad, did you go to 14?
It was 14.
Right, the war broke out.
Yeah.
And Berek, so you finished?
Yes.
Okay.
Now, we got up in the morning, it was compulsory to go to public school.
Okay.
Then after the school, we went home, and we went to Higher. We had a Higher and then Hebrew school. And the whole day we were busy. The only thing is Saturday and Sunday. So Saturday was very strict. We were Orthodox. You were not allowed to do nothing. This was the way of living the whole town. You understand? Wait. And then Sunday you went out with the guys, with the friends, and you played soccer, you went swimming, you went out there.
You know, I don't want to interrupt you. And Saturday already, you know, when I grew up already, a big 15, 16 year old, a group already, we went out of town, we had a stadium.
Okay.
They sucked on a Saturday. We did two weeks.
Okay.
I remember, and
But you didn't take, but did my father go too?
What?
So you used to go play soccer?
No, but my father should know.
But your
Nobody
father,
knew.
nobody
It was
knew.
out of town.
Okay, now it's on tape.
Yeah.
Now we know, now everybody
Now,
knows.
Listen, once, a Saturday, I had a ball and I was playing it, I walked in the street. Somebody squealed and my parents, I remember. And I don't know why I was just playing, but I had my mother and father said, you don't do it. It was strictly out of the house.
So in the house, you had 2 rooms. Was there a bathroom in the house? The bathrooms were outside? That's why I'm asking.
No, it was an outhouse, a
was
big
an outhouse.
outhouse.
Okay.
This was a big apartment house.
Okay.
It had an outhouse with maybe 4 or 5
Compartment.
no, cubicles for the outhouse. It was an
Okay.
outhouse, big outhouse in the back. Yeah.
And did you have running water in the house?
Well,
I don't know.
it was a well with a chain down. You
Okay.
crank it up,
Okay.
and this is the way.
So who would get water every day? Who would bring the water upstairs?
Nobody
To the
brings
house.
water upstairs. We went with a pail, hooked
Okay.
down the pail,
Okay.
and we let down with a chain into the well, and picked and brought up the water and bring it into the house.
Okay.
I climbed many times, I climbed to the well.
You climbed down into the well?
Yeah.
Did your father know?
No, but when I was a kid,
And you're
A very deep well. I would say maybe the well was maybe about 30 feet deep and not more. Yeah, very deep.
I remember the well, the ground was sand,
okay.
because then, the water came.
And so when your mother would do the cooking, somebody would go down, she would need water upstairs, right? So,
No, we had, not only this, you got a pail,
okay.
and besides the pail, you had a big, I don't know how to, whatever it is, we kept a couple of pails of water always in the house.
Always in the
It
house.
was covered with something, so. But the water was so cold, you brought it up from the well, that your teeth hurt in the summertime, the hot summer, yeah.
And so that's in the summer, in the winter, what would you do for heat in the house?
To heat,
Yeah.
we had enough heat. We had enough. Well, mostly we had wood.
Okay.
See, my father used to work for the foresters,
Okay.
and he used to make uniforms for them, the uniforms, they had a uniform. So make a little deal, and somehow they sent, like let's say, a wagon full, like a truck full of wood as a gift to my father.
So as children growing up, were you ever hungry? Was there always all the food?
There was
that you needed?
always food.
Always enough
Yeah,
food?
no, there was not luxury. You always had, in the basement we had, always potatoes we had,
Okay.
and we had enough bread always. So potatoes, like the kale, remember? Yeah. But it was it's not we didn't go hungry.
Okay.
We were 6 of us in the family.
And what was everybody's name?
What?
What was everybody's name?
Name? Do you know our name?
Here, go.
And the oldest sister, her name was Hella. And the middle sister was Genya. Like,
Kenantu.
huh?
Genantu?
Yeah. But in this what she was called.
Genando.
Okay.
Haya.
And we used to call her Kenya.
Okay.
And my sister, her name was Haya, and her nickname was Hela. We called her Hela. And my mother's name was Frimit. And her daddy's name, our father, was Laser.
And my father's father name was Pinchas. Pinchas. Yeah.
And I saw him maybe twice in my life, because he was in another town.
Right.
So I remember my father took me once. And it took a whole day to go.
And was it by bus? Was it by horse?
We were We
No,
went,
by bus.
By bus?
It was, I would say, 17 or 40 kilometers.
Okay.
Because nach Kuhl ist gewesen 17 Kilometer. Und 24 Kilometer gewesen nach Kuhl nach Laschka.
I am trying now to find the list was for my grandfather, Cy Blaski. I can get it. What they do, there's an organization now, all the town, that what I should pay if I want to have something.
Yeah,
So
Don, we'll talk about that later, but that's.
You know, my grandfather, my father's father, he lived to the age, he was 92 when the Germans came in. He could
Okay.
have lived probably longer.
Okay.
And the Germans, took him away. He was 92 years old. And he was a tailor, costume tailor too. And he could sew without glasses.
Okay.
Yeah, very good size.
I remember
He was the, go ahead.
we got mail from my grandfather, from my dad, and there was a postcard.
Uh-huh.
On he wrote, and the front of the postcard too, so small. He was 9
Right.
years old.
That's right.
So-
Filled up the whole thing.
Good eyesight.
So you were able to get glasses back then?
He didn't have any
You're-
money for it. Come
You
on.
didn't have money for it?
No.
Okay,
You
okay.
wore glasses, sure. You got
Okay.
to have money to go to the doctor and buy glasses. That's a luxury over there.
Okay.
You think?
But you had all the food you needed, you had all the clothes, because your father was a
Clothes, there was
tailor.
No question about it. My father was a tailor. He
Right.
always, some customers, my father, supplied the material with everything. So some want to supply the material, buy the material themselves. So my father always told him I have a yard more and so forth. So it was left over for a piece of pants for the kid, a blouse for the girl, and a skirt for the girls or something.
Okay.
It was always left over there.
So there's a 6-year difference between you.
What?
There's a 6-year difference of age between you two. It's 6?
How old are you?
16.
How much?
He's 16, gonna be 17.
16?
Right. And Jesse's just turned 20.
I'm going to tell you something. I mean, he was 16. You see him? He didn't have a father, a mother, a grandfather, no aunt, no uncle when he was this age.
Right. Right. So I don't know if you want to talk about it. We don't have to talk about it.
It hurts.
It hurts.
It hurts.
I know.
It hurts. And gives you a lot of sleepless nights. You
Right.
talk about it.
Right.
And
Not me.
No, I know you.
Last week, last few days, I go on the computer and I read the whole story about Auschwitz, from the beginning
Right.
to the end. And then I go to details where I was in the camps.
Right.
And they say the time, the names of the town, the liberation, the dead march.
So the story that you just started, when we first started, we turned on the camera. Well, actually, I didn't have a camera. You were talking about when you first went to the camp, and they were taking a group of 250.
we were already in Auschwitz.
You're already in Auschwitz.
This is in
but that,
Auschwitz,
but
not
that,
in
but that was such a critical. That was the life-death.
Correct.
Decision.
Correct.
So
Because
can
he
you-
was taken out as a youngster. He's seen a youngster, but then they selected you, they looked at your hands, if you could work, or your
Right.
hands are, because you see, we worked on a farm. How many years did you work? They were 2 years, yeah? 2.5 years on a farm. There you had to hustle and work, and you had blisters and everything, they looked at your hands. So him, they put him aside. They put him on the side, and I say, oh my God, they took my brother away. And somehow the SS looked away, and I went out and grabbed him, put him right in front of me in the row. So the guy, somebody had to get, they pulled out somebody else instead, because the transfer had to be 280, yeah?
Yeah. Let me, I remember exactly that. When we arrived in Auschwitz and the selection,
How old were you?
at that time was 15.
You were 15. Barrick, how old were you?
I was 19. No, I was 20 already.
20. Okay.
Now, when we arrived in Auschwitz, I don't want to go into detail to the selection. When we were selected, we were lined up, 10 on the line, and there was officers. I don't know, was Mengele or not?
Was Mengele, yes, Mengele, yeah.
What did he look like? Because he's such an important person.
Listen,
I mean,
a handsome, nice looking clean boots, shoes,
Yeah,
you know,
those-
riding boots,
Riding
with a
boots,
stick,
yeah.
intelligence looking, with glasses.
Blonde guy, blondish
Okay.
guy.
Guys, do you know who Mangala? You heard that before. Okay, you understand that they saw him.
Why don't
Okay.
you come and sit here? The sun bothers you.
fine.
Yeah, it's okay.
So better give me 5 minutes.
Okay, go ahead,
I-
Dad. Dad.
We were selected. Then, I do not remember, or they put us in a truck or we
No,
marched.
no, Ziggy, we marched, remember you had to
All
hold
right,
each
okay,
other,
so
yeah.
yeah.
We marched in, we arrived in Birkenau, we walked.
Yes,
Yeah.
please, better. The people who are not selected, sick, they put in a truck, this I saw. You right, we march. When we arrived to Auschwitz, the main camp, when we arrived to the main camp, the first thing we walked in halls, we had to undress, we went to disinfect us, we went to a shower, we went down from one door, and the other door we walked out. When we walked out, it was early in the morning, I remember, and they gave it to gave us uniforms. And then they took us to Auschwitz I, to the red buildings. They took us to the red buildings, Auschwitz I. And we were stacked up, maybe 3 in the beds. Anyhow, from there, it came. We had to assemble, and they put it in. They selected 200. They were a commission, a few SS, there were civilians, but I guess there were civilians, and they put us in like a courtyard with a fence, and we had to line up. You said, yeah, 10. You understand? And the guys looked, sized everything up. I was pushed out. They didn't select me.
Because you were too young?
Too young.
Okay.
So Berek pushed, and there were already 10 people in the line. And the selection was already, I think, finished. So Berek pushed me, and he pushed me in the middle or behind him. I think behind him, I don't know, you were first or second. So the last one was 11th. And I knew the guy.
Right.
I don't know what happened to him. But the other guys would be separated. From there on, they put us on the trucks. I don't know, they put us back in the barracks. And we went, at that time, they're up in the Yanina coal mine. We went to the Yanina coal mine, 280 people over there.
Barrett, you're 6 years older. 15, you're still very young. Do you remember any more details?
Beg your pardon?
Do you remember any more details?
What do you want to, what details? I can tell you something. You see what Ziggy told you, I have remembered more in details. You see, we arrived, they call it Birkenau.
Mm-hmm.
Birkenau, over there were all the gas chambers. All the gas
Did
chambers.
you know, when you got there, did you know those were gas chambers?
No, we did not know.
Okay.
When we got there, remember those guys came down with the stripe uniforms? They said, you see that? Over there you're going to heaven, straight to heaven, the guys told me. So this was over there. Then we got off the train, we got there with the train, and as we got off the train, it was a selection, the same thing. The Mengele made the selection. You here, and you here, you left, and you right. You understand? And this is what happened.
No, also, sorry, Viola also, when she got off the train, Mengele was there too.
Who?
Mengele, when Viola,
No, I don't think so.
You don't know? Okay.
No, I don't think so.
okay.
I don't.
Okay, I'm
think
sorry.
so.
Go ahead.
So they selected us and they marched us into the main camp. This was Auschwitz. In Auschwitz, we got there. They called it in quarantine. Remember, they put us first, as Ziggy said, they undress you and shave you and give you uniforms, to stripe uniform, and they tattoo us. Yeah, remember the
Next day.
Yeah, the next day. This was Ziggy. We didn't sleep all night. Went through the.
Correct, all night.
So, and they tattooed us. And after the tattoo, we went up on the attic. Remember?
Yeah,
Yes.
yeah, black one.
And the black one.
The
yes.
black- the red
And we
black.
stayed over there for many days. I don't know, about 5-6 days.
Yeah.
And then they organized the transport and they sent us to the coal, I said coaling museum, the coal mine.
Oh, by the way, I have a picture for Yanina Berek on the computer.
Yeah.
Yeah, the town.
So
Look, but all those things you have to be lucky. For example, we got to the coal mine. We got separated in the coal mine too. He went to a different
Yeah.
section. He was like, I was the number one
Three
section.
shifts,
You were,
three shifts.
no, beside the ship, you were in 5, Abteilung 5 CD. Yes. And I was more, number one was the mechanical things. And I got into the mine, and a mechanic, you know, I spoke to him as a Polak, I spoke to him Polish, and then kept asking him, what are you, and so far. So they're looking for electricians. I was not an electrician. That Polak took a liking to me, said, tell him you're an electrician. I worked with that guy all along. You understand? So it means I didn't shovel coals.
Right.
He went to shovel coal. When he went in that commando, that group, they were shoveling coals, yeah? Tell them how you got over there, the coals went down here, yeah? You broke your...
Yeah, he knows.
No, but go ahead.
It's
Tell
on
us.
tape.
You know.
no, tell us.
No, he knows that.
We had three shifts.
Okay, talk a little louder.
We had three shifts. 3 shifts in the morning. We were, you two, we went to 6 o'clock in the morning, we went to work, Barry. Yes? We lined up on the coal mine at the same time.
Yes, yes.
You went to work and I
Yes.
went downstairs. So I was on there assigned us. There was the civilian, the Polish people. They are, I don't know the name, how you call it. They are the expert who mine, you know. So
They call him the Steiger.
the Steiger in Germany, so they assigned everybody a helper. So I was assigned to a Polish guy, Steiger. We went down to the coal mine, and then we walked maybe a half a mile or quarter of a mile to the tunnels, and then when we lined up, they assigned us X amount of coals to mine. And we had to mine. He was the guy with the air hammer. He was drilling, he was exploring, and then I helped him to build.
Jackhammer.
And I had to, every time we mined, we had to build on support, you know, and I shoveled. And I was young, so I listened to him, I was disciplined. When he shared with me, they didn't have it much too. He used to come in with a container soup on 2 slices of bread, maybe a little bit bologna or what. He used to share with me. On for this, I worked very hard. So what happened is, there was piecework. When he was finished working, then he went home earlier. He went home earlier and I sat there. On many times, I helped him. So one evening, one day, the support collapsed. The support collapsed and it broke my 2 ribs. And they took me out, they carried me out from the coal mine to sick bed. And they brought me into sick bed. And over there, DadBerek takes.
Now I tell you something. We're talking about the sick bay. I have a friend, he worked in the sick bay. He was my age and I was friend from kids out. And I didn't know he was there. When he got there in Auschwitz, I say, a guy works in sick bay. His name is Morris, yeah? Motek.
Motek.
And I start talking to him, I said, he asked me, what can I do for you? You know what could you? You have to spare a soup for us, for me. He said, okay, I bring you whatever I can. So, like at night, about 10 o'clock at night, he finished in the sick bay. That's all he done, clean. He was not a nurse or something like that. Cleaning, washing the floor and so forth. So he used to bring us maybe once or twice a week a soup, and we shared it. And then that accident came out. Yeah, no, before this, yeah, the soup. Now, we want to earn more something. I said, I want to do something for you. Can I do something for you? That you give me the soup? He said, I'm going to talk to the doctor. So he called the doctor calls me if I want to wash his clothes. You know, how is it like in combat?
Yeah, the dead there, where
they store the dead.
The dead.
So with a brush and ice cold water, and I used to wash the white clothes. So it was at night, I finished this after work. It was maybe about 9 o'clock. So once I gave it to Ziggy, I said, Ziggy, go bring it in the clothes over there because they hung it up over there and dried over there. And the doctor asked him, who are you? Remember?
Yeah.
So the doctor said, I'm a brother of Berek. And he asked him, I started kibitzing him, who eats the bread? He eats the soup. He said, we share it. So he said to him, don't share it. You eat this one and then your brother get the other one.
Okay, so
So this way they know us already. And then he had the accident. And they brought him to sick bay. From sick bay, they wouldn't do nothing. They sent him right away back to camp, to Auschwitz. You understand? Being they know him, they kept him over there. You understand? So he stayed, what, 21 days, yeah?
yeah, let me continue. Let me continue. I went to the sick bay, so they knew me, the doctor knew me. So what happened? They let you 3 weeks to recover. Anybody who got sick or what, 3 weeks, because we already were trained to work, you know, so they want to give us a chance. If the doctor said he's not curable, they send you back to Auschwitz and you went to the gas chamber. So only 3 days, 3 weeks. After 3 weeks, they put tapes on me, you know, I couldn't breathe, but I already helped them. I made beds, I washed the floor, and then after 3 weeks I was already good. So the doctor said, Ziki, I tell you what, I have friends in the kitchen. Maybe I'm going to talk to the guy, to the German who was in charge of the hospital. Maybe we get you into the kitchen. You know, you're going to worry, you're not going to go into the coal mine. So the day before, when he discharged me, and I went to go to the kitchen, somebody already took my place. Somebody from a friend. So I went back to him. When I cried, he said, don't worry, stay here. I'm going to learn something. And then the SS who was in charge from the sick bay, he came and they arranged that I should be and work in a hospital. He said I can use him and I should work there. And I worked as a helper. You can say I cleaned the house. As a matter of fact, I lined up already. I lined up and given needles. One day I was involved in operation. The operator did an experiment. And then I already knew the people who took sick, and they stood a few days, they couldn't eat food, so I got the food. And then I already from there, and I was in charge already to go to the kitchen and bring the food. And I distribute the food, but I distribute equal. So in the big pot, when it was left, I scrubbed out. Remember we had the thing on, and this way we survived. This was the accident. What I had, it was lucky. And then we got to know already the doctors, the nurses, men nurses. We got already to know two dentists, and I already got to know the SS. An assessment too, we already know. No, this is not the finish. Then the assessment who was in charge from us, he was a high-ranking officer, he lived outside the camp. And he had an apartment. And in this apartment there was a room, a sick bay for the SS. The SS. So if assessment was sick, he was there for, you know, they were goofing off for a day or two, so they. So I went there, and he took me out from the camp. I went there from the camp to the SS barracks, and I went to the kitchen. And I got for the guy who was sick, I got the food. I stood with the line for the SS. And many times I brought the food, remember? Already I know a lot of people. This is why, remember we went to trial? I know this guy, you know the story.
Right.
And from this window, when I cleaned the house, I saw the SS, they were training and everything. So this helped us when we left Auschwitz. On the death march, because we knew a few assessments with the doctors, this helped us to survive the death march.
How many years were you working in the coal mine?
3 years.
3 years.
No.
Why do you say no?
Wait a minute.
Oh, yeah, I don't know.
We arrived in August 43 till January 17. August,
Whatever.
August, June, July or August. Yeah.
Here's the thing, you see what Ziggy, what the doctor had to do over there, he was allowed only to keep him 21 days. He discharged him for a week or something like that, and then he admitted him again, remember?
Yeah.
And then what happened, this friend of mine, he was over there working, you know, they call it a Stubendienst or whatever he was, something.
Derek?
Yeah,
I need you for a minute or
yeah.
so.
Something had a fallout
Derek?
with an assessment, yes, with an assess.
Okay, we'll still take a stop. Okay, live action.
Action, okay. The war started September the 1st, 1939.
Okay.
The Germans were in our town already Sunday, that's the 3rd, because we lived 14 kilometers away from the German border.
Okay.
Now, what happened to me when the Germans came in Sunday, my father said, run. I ran away. From us, I had to run, past Warsaw was maybe about 400 kilometers. And this took me about 2 weeks to get there, but the Germans caught up with us.
Now, my father, he
No,
was home.
no, he's going to continue his story.
Okay.
The Germans caught up with us.
Okay. When you say us, you were running with other friends?
Wait a minute.
When you say caught up with us, who were you running with?
With me and some other people from our town
Okay.
caught up with us. We got about 40 kilometers before Warsaw, and they occupied Warsaw already. So nothing we had to do, we had to go back.
Okay.
Came back home, we were walking nights, because otherwise the Germans were coming out. We slept on wherever we could find something we had to sleep. So we walked, we walked maybe a night, maybe about 30 kilometers or something like that. Took us about 10 days. I remember they came home was Erwin Kippur. I don't know the date, what it was, Erwin Kippur. This must have been about around the end of
September.
September, yeah. So then the Germans started occupying our town and everything. Took apart the synagogue and closed the business and plundered everything what they could. So my father, we had 2 sewing machines. They took the machines away. My father shouldn't be able to work and so forth. This is what it was. Now January 17th, that was 1940. They gathered us all in the school. Remember the school, yeah, there? And they transported us to the next town in, how would you say, a Halle?
A market.
A marketplace, a closed marketplace. So we were over there at times that I would say, what is about 500 from our town, from another town, maybe 1,000. And we sat already about 5 days, to the 24th. Then they transported us to Lodz, the big ghetto was over there. And we got there the 24th over there with by train, and it was cold and freezing. They just discharged us on any place over there. It was maybe about 40 below zero. We stayed over there a couple of days over there. And the ghetto was not finished yet. They didn't want to accept it. They sent us back up there. So then they what they do, a ghetto, yeah? They made a ghetto, yeah?
They call it
A camp, but it was
a Judenlager, Lebenscamp.
yeah. So we got
A
there.
Jewish
Yeah.
Lebercamp. they
Yeah.
So,
call it.
what was, how were you living, how were you sleeping there? Was the family still together?
Where?
When they sent you back, from Lodz back to,
I told you they made a ghetto over there. They threw out some polite people. They take one street and make this in the pact or somewhere, whatever they could, And this is the way it went. So
but describe what, you weren't in the street, you were in a building, you were sleeping in a building.
yes,
So how many families, how many people in a room?
in that room we were 2 families. The Litmans, us and the Litmans, we were 6, and the other people were 7 or 9 people in one room. We had a little straw and they slept on the floor. There was a little kitchen. Sometimes they gave us a little food over there, yeah?
Okay.
Ziggy used to bring the food. Ziggy used to go for it. And this is the way. Then they organized a factory over there, a sewing factory. So me and my father was there in it. So used to work for the Hitlerjugend. You know what the Hitlerjugend means? Like
The brown shirts.
What?
They call them brown shirts.
No, not the brown
Not the
shirt.
brown
Like
shirt.
youth, like
The youth, the youth.
The Hitler Youth.
The scouts,
Scouts,
Right.
yeah, they had scouts. We
Okay.
used to make the uniform. And then when we finished the uniforms, we used to work for the SS, for them. And I worked over there too. And then, this would be like the 1940 years, 1940, 41, yeah? You got that? Yeah? 40, yeah.
41 we left.
41. And then I worked over there, I didn't get nothing for it. So I said, I resign and ran away.
You resigned.
Yeah, I went over there out for the farmers and worked for the farmers. I was 18 years old or 19 years old, so I was not a big tailor. You know, I didn't know much. But I used to bring home the work from my father, used to help me at home, you know. So, and this is the way, then they got after me. And they took me, because like we said, the committee over there, or the association, whatever, it was a Jewish association, and they got after me because I didn't obey their order, and they took me and sent me out for transport. I went to a transport, it was not far, about 20 kilometers away from that place where we were there. And we used to work on the road building roads. So the same thing, I met some people over there and I started working over there with somebody and partners as tailor work, you know, start working. And then I used to get the bread for it, and I used to send home potatoes and bread. Now that Ziggy, he didn't want to work on himself. He volunteered and came to me to the same camp. Go ahead, talk to you.
Now,
You know, he was a volunteer for Germany then.
Oh, yeah, traitor.
Yeah? Yes.
he took, he remember, I take my,
Okay.
when we came back from Lodge, there was no Lodge ghetto. So they sent us back anyhow, so they sent us back to this town. On the evacuated half of the town, the Gentiles, on the empty the house, and they put us in. And they made a camp, but we had no guards, no fences, nothing. They just put it in, two families in the houses, in the Polish houses. And what happened is, then in the morning, all the people had to assemble when they worked on the highways and the road to clean, on like Berek. I was very young, so what it took is I had to clean horses. You remember the horses? I had to clean horses for the police. On then, Berek, we used to assemble and we used to go to the estate, remember on the farm?
I never went over there. I know what you're talking about.
Yeah.
They dig in the stuff or the arbet in the water over there.
On the water and the stuff.
Yeah,
And
I
then
never went.
we went there, and then we went further up to some ranch we worked.
Yeah.
I even remember I carried the battery for them. So they used to, the young kids, they used to harass. So if we stood in the corner, they used to grab us. Go ahead, come. They put it on the police department, and they put us in the horses, because they had horses, so we had to clean the horses. On this winter, and then Berek, you worked with my father. You worked in the shop. Yeah. On me, they harassed. I used to go. They had a kitchen. I used to bring the kitchen the food. I used to coal. I used to break in the barns. On the attic, I used to break the wood and bring it to mother to make fire. Then they grabbed Berek. How many guys you were there in Tartak? 40?
Where?
In the woods when you worked?
In the shop or 40?
No, not in the shop. After the shop, with pills. In the woods. Were you in the mill, in the woods?
We were about 70 over there.
70?
Yes.
Yeah. This was 1941. I tell you why I think, because the war broke out with Russia. So Berek, I knew that she's better off. He had food. On me, they harassed. So the guy who was in charge was a Jewish guy, Pills.
His brother, yeah.
And we were very friendly before the war. So they needed two people in his camp, two or one. So he brought in his younger brother, my age, because we were harassed. And when he went, so I went there and I said, I want, and I volunteered. Do you understand? So I volunteered there. On Berek, you worked, where did you work? I went to go on the highways.
Yeah, that's
You
right.
worked where?
And we made clothes for the people.
Oh, yeah,
And
you,
at that time, I had registered you, I had him.
ahead of him,
Yeah, yeah, but he was too late. I had
Yeah,
registered you.
so I went there, and over there, in the kitchen, you know, remember Abraham Krotowski, maybe his sister, or two sisters, one sister, she used to be in charge of the kitchen. She used to give us a lot of food.
So during this time, were you going back to see your parents?
No.
So you weren't
No,
seeing
no,
your parents
no,
anymore?
no.
No, once.
So was that,
Let me tell you.
Okay.
Then the war broke out from Russia, from the Russian. I remember they assembled us and they let us know. Then one day they assembled all of us, and they brought us back to the ghetto. And we stood there overnight, Berek, with our parents, and then we went to prison.
I was not there, because I was initially, I forgot the name of the town, the other town, you know, it's.
In Opatovec.
Opatuvek, yeah, that's.
Opatovec, yes, yes.
I was not with you at that time.
But you, then you went, they brought you back to the transport, because we went up together to Posen.
That's right.
Okay.
Yeah,
So they brought, they brought me back, they brought him back to the ghetto. We stood there overnight, and they formed the transport, all the young people. This was 1941. And they put us, we went to college, remember?
Yeah.
The showers, they wanted to separate you,
That's-
yes.
They wanted to take me to the shop.
To shop,
To the
you
factory
say,
there.
no, you're gonna be with me.
That's correct.
And we went that time, they put it on the train, and we went there on a farm, on a ranch, a big ranch, 70 of us, 70 people. And on the train, they wanted to separate us again. Somehow we managed this. And over there, we were 70, we worked there from 1941 till
43.
1943 on August. Then they took us to Auschwitz.
so
We had enough food over there. We worked on the farm, you know.
Oh, we worked
potato,
sunrise to
beans
sunset.
over there. We had enough. You know, everybody take a couple potatoes home. We dropped it
Right.
off in the kitchen. You know, the beans, whatever we could
We
harvest
worked
over
there from sunrise
Yeah, we
to
worked.
sunset.
You see, you think you didn't understand. You didn't understand very clear. When they took us on that transport, they took us onto the big city. And what they done, they remember they gave us the shoe, the whole shoes, yeah.
Yeah.
They shaved us and so far and everything. And then this town, they had a factory too. So the manager from the factory, Han of the guys,
Yeah, he
he
won't
came
tell
to
me.
me. He wants to take me in the factory, to the factory. I said, yes, good, sir, but I have a brother. I want my brother too. He said, no, we cannot do it. So, no, I go with my brother. That's what it was over there.
We went to that time to Vandenheim
Yeah.
Post.
Yeah, I tell you something.
It was luck.
Part of mine being in concentration camp, I have a little luck in it. A little luck, I would say. Like in the coal mine, I used to work it with a little machine. And down there, that's how deep was it, Ziggy?
1,000 meter, 1,000 meter, kilometer, 1 kilometer.
Yeah,
Very big.
I used to ride with a little wagon and tow the how you call it, the wagons to the shaft. It was easy work, but it was responsible. But they told me right away, any mistakes, it's not a mistake, it's sabotage. You know,
Okay.
that's what they told me right away. And I made out pretty good, you know, I didn't have to work physical work. I
In
wasn't
the mo-
responsible.
In the morning, we got up at 6 o'clock. We had to assemble on the counters in Auschwitz. And they opened the gate, and then the assessment came with the dogs. And we stood in line, what, a 6 line? And maybe in every line, every 10 line, an assessment with a dog. And we marched to the coal mine. And then they led us down to the coal mine. But after we came back from the coal mine, so we went to the coal mine and the civilians, they were waiting for us. But after, when we went, finished work, then we had to assemble, we took showers. Then the SS waited for us, and they had nothing to do, they harassed us. This was the worst time, you understand?
So,
You see, this was a wet mine.
okay.
A wet mine, which it was some oxygen in it, you understand? It was easy breathing and so forth. But constant, like, it dripping on you.
Water.
You see, the civilians, the Polacks, they had rain gear, you know? And we didn't have nothing. Then we came out for taking the shower, what Ziggy said, and sometimes the temperature was there 30 below zero, and you have to wait. You have to
You
wait
froze everything.
outside till you, because we just got into the shower, were like 10 or 15 at the time, yeah? So you have to wait outside. You froze, the people got sick, you understand? In the freezing weather.
But miracle, miracle.
So during this whole period of time,
Huh?
during this period of time when all this horrible was happening to
yeah.
you, did you say to yourself, this is happening because I'm a Jew? Or is this because I'm a Polak? Or I don't know why this is happening to me?
Joe, I tell you something, this is not the end. You know, when we got over transport, then was the worst thing, you know? We stag out, they call it the Dead March, yeah?
Right.
When we got out from Auschwitz in January 17, am I right? January 17 and 1945. We,
Read it in the computer.
Yeah, I know.
and we start marching, you know, we marched into a town, Clivis, all night long. And who stood behind, they couldn't walk.
Oh, you want to try?
Yeah, I know.
That's what happened,
But during this whole period of time when all this was happening,
yes.
did you feel the Germans were doing this to you because of what? Because you're Polacks, because of you're Jews?
Because of Jews.
Because you were
we know.
Jews.
Yeah, you see,
Okay.
because, you see, you had a uniform, and you have a number right here under your chest, and the thing on the uniform, would tell you, like I had the same number at here, and it was
The star.
a little star of David.
Yeah, yeah.
So, you know, and then they done away with the star, you make just a yellow stripe, remember?
Yeah.
Yes.
And
So-
another thing,
Yes.
another thing. In the camp, the couples, they were Polish, and German, and a few Jews, too. Criminals. They were, the SS didn't bother they only let us in and they're out on the count. Everything, the organization, the operating is from those guys. They were worse than the Nazis.
Yeah, those criminals.
Always, the criminal always pointed out the Jew, unbelievable. But
With the Schwarz Point, yeah, the Schwarz Point.
yeah, but somehow, we call it a block. Every building, we call it a block over there. A building, a section. Number one, a building. Number two, we call it a block. On every block had a couple who was in charge from the block, and then a couple who was in charge for the room, and the couple who was in charge, and also we go to work. So when we came home, everybody took it over, his steps. So once in the beginning, the couple who was in charge from this building, but Berek and I, when we were in the calling group, his name was Zygmunt. Somehow, tell him.
There was one guy, Zygmunt is not, Zygmunt, did you want to talk about the Blockelters,
Yeah.
that big guy?
Yeah.
Zygmunt used to be was in the coal mine.
All right, so maybe I mixed something.
See, there was one guy, I tell you a guy, maybe 6'5", big horse.
He was in charge.
A Polak. He was in charge
He
of
killed you, he killed you.
charge of them. And, we came home from the camp, from the work, yeah? We got a soup. And I take Ziggy and myself, we went in a corner someplace and ate it up, and ate our soup. Quiet, nobody should see us. And that guy was observing us. One evening he comes around, puts on the switch on the light. He looks at me because I was sleeping together with the same, I think you upstairs,
No, downstairs.
Downstairs.
The corner, yeah.
Yeah, he says to me, "Are you hungry?" In Polish. I said, "If you spare something, I appreciate it." But twice or three times a week he used to bring us soup for nothing whatsoever. Because he took a like, he saw us, observing us, you know, what kind of people
Well,
are.
this guy could have come to you. Are you hungry? Yeah, come into my room, we could kill you.
That's right, he could do that too. They done it. They done it.
Because
But we were lucky
we-
in it.
We obey every order. When we stood in line, food or whatever, we obeyed everything.
You see-
We watched ourselves, we shouldn't get hit.
You
But
see,
once you get hit, you're in trouble.
you see, when you came down from the coal, came up from the coal mine, all the exhaust, the fumes over there, you got, especially around the nose here, black. The suit, like, you know, it looked like, you would say like shoe polish you had it around the face, yeah? And they took you into a shower, and the shower was ice cold water. And the ice cold water, you didn't get any soap, and so far you couldn't wash it. So people used to pick up sand and took up the sand and scrub it. But you came in dirty into the camp, they could kill you for it. So that friend of mine, but worked in the sick bay, the first thing when I saw him, he asked me, "Listen, Morris, could you spare some soap, a little soap?" He said, "I have the soft soap," how you call it?
Yeah, I remember.
The soft soap, he put it in a little paper, the soft soap, and this we washed ourselves.
Saved our-
So we were already privileged people, we came in, we were clean, you understand? Our hands were clean, our face was clean, and everybody looked at us, you understand? So that guy helped me out in that respect, because in the sick bay, you know, they had soap to wash the people, whatever they had, this is why he gave us. The soap-
Then,
See, is it this one, excuse me, Ziggy, this one, I mean, it's sometimes you had a little luck in
Right.
it, and that's what happened. Yeah, a
Yes,
little
sir.
luck with it.
we were, in Yiddish they say, it was b'sheit.
Mm-hmm.
We were luck. We were luck another thing. He was young and I young. Our genes, we were not sick. Our minds were blank. Do you understand? And somehow we didn't think. I never thought. And somehow our body, we were never sick. Do you understand? And we obeyed. We went with the wind. You know, with the how you call it, with the stream. We went, and we avoided everything, anything we avoided. And once you got involved, you got a beating or a bad name, like in prisons here. You eventually, this what happened. We had respect for things. Then, wait. In Yanina, we came 280 people. 90% vanished within a year. On the broad, more people. We were the veterans. I believe we were maybe 40 who survived. Well, one moment, maybe 40. With this kind of numbers. Now, the capos on the SS, they already respect us.
Because we were veterans.
The veterans.
You were
And
veterans.
we networked, although we knew already the people in the kitchen, we knew already people in the supply rooms when they came and give us shoes or clothes. Do you understand?
Mhm.
On this, and then when it came to the death march, we were not hungry because I had food
Okay.
from hospital. And we had sugar, remember? We had sugar
So
under
don't, so don't even talk about the death march yet. With the times, we'll go into that. So you say you were never beaten, you were never hit.
yeah, oh,
But you were.
What?
You were hit. You said you'd never wanted to
I
be
was
hit.
beaten
But you were
25.
beaten. Were you beaten also and hit?
No, I would never hit, never
was
touch,
beaten.
nobody touch.
Hit him. You've never been hit. Go ahead, hit him.
You know what? I'm going to tell you something. If you say never hit, this is after we got out from Auschwitz. We got in a death march. We went in. My transport. We were separated already. I got into Dachau. In Dachau, they selected a group to go to Messerschmitt in Stuttgart.
Mm-hmm.
And I volunteered to go there. They asked me what's my trade. I said, a tinsmith, because my grandfather was a
Okay.
tinsmith. I had a little idea about it. They sent me over there. And I got over there, and what I was doing, you know, the boat, the Messerschmitt airplane,
Mhm.
yeah? The rivets have to be frozen before they get into riveted together. You understand?
Okay.
They have to be frozen because they shrink, and then they get, you know,
Expand.
tight. They expand, and then they start. And they gave me this job because I had to take a list, what size ribbing this station wants, what they, and I used to go to the place where they had the freezers and pick out the rivets and bro. And then come the son of a gun, a Jewish guy, and he wants to show the assessment what he is, and I came with the rivets and bring the rivet delivered and hit me in the face. He hit me, come on faster. And I put down the rivets and said to him, listen, like this. I kill you right away, I said, if you touch me once more. And he got away from me.
Okay, I got to change tape.